right, so are you team console or team handheld? These are some of the conversations I've been hearing lately. I think it's pretty funny, right? Because it really depends on what type of gamer you are, you know? Like, do you prioritize the cinematic experience, surround sound, 4K, or maybe you're somebody that doesn't have 3 to 4 hours to dedicate sitting in front of a TV and can only play in short bursts, like right before bed or during a lunch break at work. Like, both can work their way into someone's lifestyle pretty well. So it really just depends on what it is that you're really looking for at the end of the day. But for me personally, honestly, I'm neither. I don't like just home console gaming. I don't like just handheld gaming. I need both together in the same box to be able to give me the home console or a portable experience, and I expect all my games to be played natively, right? And that's really why I feel like the Switch 2 is just the absolute best product on the market to really give you the home console experience or the handheld console experience in the most streamlined and simple way possible. For me, that's where a lot of the Switch value in general, even from the first one, really came in. When Nintendo came up with the concept of having a system that could do both, they kind of had that with the Wii U, a little bit of a prototype, kind of before its time. Technology just wasn't quite there yet when the Wii U came out, giving you a home console experience, but also being able to give you that same experience in a handheld format in the same console. But obviously there was those limitations, right? Couldn't walk too far away from the console, and sure as hell could not leave the house. So you were pretty much tethered to your TV, you know, by proximity. But they really nailed that concept with the Switch 1 and really refined it when it came to the Switch 2, and that's where we're at today. I really just feel like this is where most value can be found. Having a system that does both the traditional home console experience while also being able to give you that traditional handheld console experience, not having to fiddle with windows or not being too big, not being too bulky and handheld, not having to force you to deal with Windows 10 or PC driver issues. And I feel like that really removes it from the console conversation at that point, once a user has to start fiddling with things like that. And most people just genuinely don't want to have to do that, especially when we're talking about just to play video games, right? I feel like that's kind of the main thing that's been holding back a lot of these other PC handhelds on the market. Steam Deck's the most popular out of all of them, and even that thing is struggling to hit double digits in terms of millions of units sold. And I just really feel like it's because of the interface, the tinkering and the work that it requires to get things working properly. When issues do arise, you have to troubleshoot. No one really wants to always have to do that every time they want to hop in to play whatever game for the next 30 minutes that they have at a lunch break or something like that. It's just not as convenient at the end of the day. Those are still pretty cool pieces of hardware, but I'm just saying, when it comes to value, I think the Switch 2 really gives you the best of both worlds. The dedicated home console experience to where you can hook it up to your TV, get that surround sound, get that 4K, and seamlessly being able to pop it out of the dock and have it right in your hands, looking damn near just as good, running just as well, without having to do much of anything other than literally picking up the device. That's what makes the Switch 2 such a great piece of hardware, especially now that we're getting all of these third-party games coming out left and right. They're looking and running amazing. We're getting Nintendo games back to back to back, looking and running fantastic. And honestly, this is really why I think Nintendo is the industry leader, because this, in my opinion, is the future of gaming. We're already hearing some rumors and reports from Sony releasing their next-gen console being a hybrid handheld system. I don't know if it's going to be their main platform, if it's going to be a family of systems, and they'll still do a dedicated home console as well. If Sony were to make a Switch 2-like device, the whole concept, the whole idea of it itself is very, very attractive. Being able to plug in a PlayStation system and having it as a home console and a handheld seamlessly all in one is far more value than just a dedicated home console to me personally. Now, Xbox is going third party, and from the looks of it, PlayStation might not be too far behind, so I'll have to keep an eye out on that. Hey, I don't mind waiting a year and a half for a PlayStation port of Helldivers or Spider-Man or something like that if it were to come over to a Nintendo platform, so that's not a problem. I'm just saying. But if this turns out to be true and Sony does release a Switch-like hybrid device, then it really does solidify that Nintendo was on the absolute right path and took the industry in the right direction, making handheld hybrid game consoles a thing. And honestly, if PlayStation were to follow Nintendo in their footsteps, I think it would be better for the industry at the end of the day as well. Games would have to be optimized properly to work on lower wattage systems, which would damn near force developers to go out of their way to properly make sure that the games are optimized so that when they are ported over and brought to larger home dedicated systems, we get a better chance of them actually not turning out like MGS Delta, for example. We all love the way that game looked and ran at launch, I'm sure. That's the direction I think gaming is going in. Handheld hybrid gaming systems, home console handhelds, 2-in-1, not having to buy a home console and then a separate streaming device over here for $200 that you can only play off of the internet. Dedicated handheld PCs are cool in theory, but let's be honest, They don't got too much mass market appeal. Most people do not want to have to tinker with a PC in their hands. Most people just don't want to do that. What Nintendo did with Switch 1 and Switch 2 really shook the industry and put everything on its head. It was a genius concept, and if Sony is making their own, I think that only confirms what I'm saying, what I'm talking about here. So let me know what you guys think about it. Like, are you team console, are you team handheld, or are you team hybrid, right? Let me know what you think about that in the comment sections below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.